This show was a total challenge for us. We wanted to, we wanted to challenge ourselves to see if there was an emotional or behavioral story behind something that we didn't think there was an emotional or behavioral story behind. So we thought, what about clothes? And for me, I am not very fashionable. I don't think about clothes that much. And I was thinking, like, no way clothes make a difference in who I am. I kind of went into it with a very hostile like sense of clothes. Like, who I am is who I am. My clothes don't matter. And maybe someone vain is going to judge me, but that's on them. And really good people will see the true me no matter what I'm wearing. So what we found out while we were researching this show, what we were really interested in wasn't other people's perception of us, but our perception of ourselves. And we came across this really crazy study that basically it was done by some Columbia professors, and they found that people who were given what they were told was a doctor's white coat, so this object of, like, high prestige and an object that signified, advanced degrees and intelligence and focus and respect, when they were asked to perform a sort of complicated attention task, if they were wearing the white coat, they performed better than someone not wearing a white coat. They made fewer mistakes. And so that's kind of crazy, because that's like the thing you're wearing almost seeping into your brain. I mean, that kind of stunned us. And then it turned out those same experimenters did a second experiment where they told people that the same exact coat was actually a painter's coat. And so so the kind of symbolic association with that article of clothing was maybe about creativity, but perhaps also about messiness, but it's not signifying extreme focus and intelligence necessarily. And those people who put on the quote unquote painter's white coat did not kind of get a boost in their performance. And so it's this really crazy thing where it's not the piece of cotton itself, but it's sort of it's like the beliefs that we have about that clothing can affect us. And so that was sort of our gateway into the science of the episode. And I think once we had that understanding of that study, it helped us to look at a bunch of other stories. And so the hour we called it The Secret Emotional Life of Clothes. It basically looks at, I think it's 7 different stories about articles of clothing. There's a pair of sunglasses, there's a t-shirt, there's a dress, and it has all these people grappling with the power of clothes. And some people are really changed by them, and some people are frustratingly not changed by them. So it kind of explores and tests the limits of clothes. And as I came out after sort of working on this show for a couple months, I sort of feel like I came out just realizing that clothes do affect not only other people's image of me, but sort of my own behavior on a given day. So I have like this pair of boots I wear when I want to just feel more confident than I am, and realizing those boosts you can get from clothes are real. And so for me, it's sort of like they affect me more than I was willing to believe at first, but probably less than we ultimately hope. You know what I mean? It's not the thread count, it's the belief count.
I totally agree with what you're saying. And it also gives you a sense of self-respect. And when others respect you, then you have that sense of self-respect for you. And also, today, I am dressed up, and I'm wearing a dress and boots, and my hair is fixed beautifully, so I'm feeling pretty confident today. The difference about today is I'm wearing no makeup, and that is unusual for me, because for me to feel put together, I have to be all together with my makeup, earrings, jewelry, and everything on together. But today, I switched it up a little bit. And I got myself together, and I decided not to wear any makeup, just for a challenge. to see how it would make me feel going out with not any makeup on, dressing up to see how I would feel out in the public, and see how others would treat me. So this is a challenge for myself. But yes, I totally agree with you that clothes do have an effect on how we feel about ourselves and about how others treat us as well. So, great post.
It really interests me, this concept. It really does interest me. And I have done a little bit of experimentation myself with it. When I go out, I really do like to look nice. I used to wear more makeup when I was younger. I have been told I really don't need makeup. My husband doesn't care for me in makeup, but I still wear it. I certainly did makeup for our wedding, absolutely. I feel that as blind people, sometimes there's a stereotype attached that we don't care about our clothes. We don't care how we look because we can't see. So that kind of brings into the concept, just because you can't see yourself doesn't mean other people don't see you.
And I do find that true to an extent with some of the blind people that I've seen over the years.
That's adding the blindness into the equation. But I was always raised, I was mainstreamed, and I was raised to always look good. Interestingly enough, when my mom first was teaching me how to dress, the neighbors were appalled. If we weren't going anywhere, she'd tell me, go get a pair of pants, go get a sweater, get your socks and shoes and put them on, please. And I would do it. And the neighbors would be so appalled. They'd be like, she doesn't have the right colors on. Why are you allowing her? She looks beautiful when you take her out. My mother said, you're not getting it. If she's putting them on frontwards, if she's buttoning, if she's zippering, she's learning. The other stuff will come later. I will teach her how to match her clothes. It was a concept. So from a very young age, my mother made it important that appearance, and she put on makeup when she left the house. She would fix her hair. My sister the same way. So I did it by role modeling, and I'm glad that I did. However, in my later years as a mom, sometimes mom activities, when you're not going to work, and trust me, I went to work for many years, well put together, but when you're a mom, those roles kind of change a little. You're house cleaning, you're in the middle of tasks. Sometimes you got to run to school because, your child is sick. And you might be in the middle of cleaning the house. Things happen. However, when I normally go to school, I'm pretty put together for his, concerts and parent-teacher conferences, thus and such, those kind of things. But I think it's really important. Like today, I'm in sweats. I'm in a sweatshirt, but I feel good about myself. I would never leave the house the way I'm looking right now. I would not. However, I have gone to the store and say some capri pants and a sweatshirt, or maybe some nice sweats, not ratty sweats. But I'll tell you what, I don't get complimented. My, that's a lovely pair of sweatpants you're wearing. If I've got nice dress pants on, or a skirt or a dress, or even some nice jeans and a nice sweater together. Oh, that's a pretty color on you. That really compliments you. I like that. Or I like how you've matched those two things, or, that kind of thing. So I think it does affect how you feel about yourself. And I think it does affect how people treat you, but sometimes there's just not time to maybe change the apparel. But I think it's very important. And it's always been something that was important to me. If I got company coming over, I'm going to dress nicely, make a nice appearance, even though they're coming into my own home. I'm not going to say just because I'm inviting company over, oh, well, it's my house, I'm just going to wear some sweats and a sweatshirt, or a ratty t-shirt and some shorts. No, I'm going to make it my best, not only to make my home look good, but to make, myself look good. And I got to tell you, my husband looks awesome in a suit. Ooh, he looks really good, but he looks just as nice in jeans and a polo shirt. I guess I'm biased. And I just really think that clothes, they always have this saying, clothes make the man, which is a little sexist, but clothes do sometimes make the person sometimes. And also, you don't have to have a huge budget in order to dress nicely. You don't have to wear labels all the time. If you shop wisely and you look for sales and you look for bargains, or you have a sister like me who will wait till something goes on sale and she'll hide it in the racks and then she'll come back and find out it's been reduced. She checks on that kind of stuff. You can get some great deals. And because I know a lot of people say, well, I don't have the money to dress nicely. Yes, you do. You can go to Walmart and find a very nice skirt and blouse, or a sweater set. You can find, and this is true for guys too, you can find a nice, button-down long sleeve shirt, or a nice sweater, pair it up with some pants, and, be on your way and look attractive and look nice. I'm sorry in a way that people do judge folks by the clothing sometimes, but I think that's attaching some societal stereotypes that we have to people. But I do think that clothing and appearance is extremely important. And maybe something's true about that old Saturday Night Live sketch that Fernando was in, It is better to look good than to feel good. But when I look good, darlings, I feel marvelous. I feel good. You might too.
Hello, my name is Laura. I'm the co-founder of a podcast called The Fashionability Channel. We call it Your Guide to Accessible Style because we impart fashion and beauty information to people from all walks of life, all ages, all abilities. It is an inclusive podcast, and the show hosts are two women, myself included, and we are both blind, and all of our contributors are blind or otherwise disabled as well. And your comments bring to mind for me the idea that fashion is the ultimate placebo. In other words, it's what we want it to be. And I think the amount of money spent in the fashion industry is certainly demonstrative of that. I would definitely agree that there is a psychological component, and just as in studies for pharmaceuticals, for example, you have a placebo effect, and measured against certain controls in a study, the placebo can, in some instances, rise to the same level of efficacy as the drug against which it's being controlled. And I would say that's the same for fashion. Fashion is the ultimate placebo effect because of the way it makes us feel.
I really like this question because I have thought about this myself on occasion. In trying to pick something for my wardrobe and such, and trying to be sure that I was dressed, in the proper attire for, say, a symphony concert, or a job interview, or something a little less casual. I think you are absolutely right in the conclusion that it is about belief systems and what is the, quote, best thing to wear for business casual or formal attire or bridal attire. Being a newlywed myself, I sort of went through that when it came to shopping for my bridesmaids. And some people in my family were of the opinion that I should get bridesmaid dresses at the bridal place, and they had to have, a certain color and all this stuff. And being blind, that part didn't matter to me. Color did a little, but not as much. I actually went to Ross and got my bridesmaids. It was sort of a last minute addition, so we just got them some nice dresses that matched my bride dress, and that were very close, and it worked. And they weren't very expensive at all, and we got some good shoes, and that was perfect. But one thing I want to mention here that I think is interesting is it's mood and belief. I know me personally, I've noticed that when I wake up, sometimes if I'm not going anywhere, I'll stay in my pajamas all day. And I've noticed that when I do that, I tend to be more relaxed, more in a I don't want to do anything mood. But when I get dressed and put clothes on, it's sort of like, whoa, okay, now I'm ready to go out, ready to do stuff. And, versus being barefoot in my pajamas, in my robe, cuddled up under a throw, I sort of, one could argue and say, well, you could clean up and do the dishes and do all of that stuff in your pajamas. But I think of pajamas as loungewear and sleepwear. So, and it's the same concept. If I wear a dress or a nice skirt with a blouse and nice boots or nice heels, I'm going to go out to somewhere special. I'm going to go to a concert. My husband and I are going to go out on a nice date. If I'm wearing a business suit, I'm going to be going to work or going to a business meeting of some kind. And it's just so interesting how the beliefs that you're taught ever since you're a child, opinions on clothes and how your parents were with clothes, what was important to them, sort of accessories. I know that my sister, who is fully sighted, is very big into accessories, bracelets and hairbands and necklaces and earrings and having things match in the right color. Although I like all of those things and I think that they're important, I like to be simple. I might wear one necklace, one bracelet, and the same pair of earrings that I wear all the time. I actually have a very simple pair of hoops that I wear that are very simple. And unless I know something specifically will match with a certain dress or a gown, I will just wear the normal earrings I wear. So I think with clothes, it is a very important thing in certain circumstances, like if you're going to be on TV, or if you're going to an interview or to a formal event. But if you're, I think belief is very important, and it's exciting to know that they do studies like this. I always thought it would be fun to participate in those sorts of studies because from a blindness perspective, things are a little bit different, because you can ask, okay, what about color? Is that important? Because a blind person who was born blind since birth, like myself, doesn't know anything about color. It's just words: green, yellow, blue, red. Okay, apples are red, the sky is blue, and things like that. But you don't have a concept as a blind person. So that could be another question. Does color matter? Because I read something somewhere that said it does matter. So, I have rattled on enough here, but a very good question, and how fun to be a part of a show like that. And it's interesting, you learn things about yourself in times when you don't realize that you are going to learn about yourself. Take care.